Hey, hey, good to see you guys. Yeah, okay. Yeah. As usual, we'll start around 6:05 or something because people are still joining us. In the meanwhile, just, feel free to, if you have any questions, you can ask, or you can just carry on a conversation with each other too. That's fine. Okay. Nobody has anything to say?
I have a question actually.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Andrew.
In this class, could you go over classes more and
Yeah.
like how we should format things
Yes.
according to like the
Yeah.
homework,
Sure.
especially this week's homework.
In fact, what we're going to do is um, we'll basically pick up the code from who was it? Fatima? Was it Fatima who shared the code last time on Tuesday? Well, okay, she'll probably join us later. But someone should pick up that link. I hope she shared it on the Reddit or something. Or you guys should have it in from the previous in your browser history. So we'll pick up that code, and then we'll use that class, and we'll talk about all the components. And then Andrew, you can Andrew, not just Andrew, everybody can ask questions. But is there a different way you can do this part? Is there a different way you can do that part? So you're kind of familiar with all the different ways in which a class can be structured. Most of it is the basic structure is very highly recognizable, but there's tweaks here and there. Like sometimes you may put a public or a private, or this cosmetic tweaks. No, I don't think they're structural tweaks, but more like cosmetic. I don't know. We'll see when we get to it. Okay, so no big deal. Does that answer your question, Andrew?
Yeah, it does. Thanks.
More of a request, right? Yeah. So we'll
Yeah,
definitely.
request.
Yeah, and if I forget, you just you can just pull me in and say, hey, can you describe this more, or what is a class, and so on and so forth. Yeah, I think Varsha shared something. Was it the link from last class? Yeah. Jesse, are you here? Hey, does it look like it's just us then?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think one more minute and then we can start, because it'll be 6:05 then. I thought Fatima was going to join us today, because she wrote the code last class, but fortunately Varsha had the link, so. But it's not a big deal otherwise too, right? Because we'll just code from scratch again. And in fact, if I remember, it was less than 100 lines. Yes? Varsha, or anyone, is it less than 100 lines? Like 50, 60 or 70 lines altogether, yeah? Including comments and everything.
Yeah, 87.
Yeah, that's including comments and all the white space. And so we could just code it again from scratch. But, in the interest of time, because we want to get to the place where we, use the stack that we create and make a game out of it. And in the process, I'll also show you how you can put an entire class in a header file, so that you can just include the header file and start using the stack, just like you would, later on when you use the library stack, STL stack. That's what you do. Hey, by the way, Sumit, I saw your post about this really strange error message. So I'll take a look at it, okay? Because it kind of looks very strange if it just doesn't compile on the question server, but it compiles everywhere else. I can't hear you, by the way. Mohammed, are you here? Mohammed? Oh, Mohammed's gone. All right, you're more like magical. You just appear and disappear rather than come into the frame and leave the frame. All right. Okay. All right. Yeah. So all right. Good. We can actually start. We can start. How about who was going to code today? Was it Agnes? Was it you? Who was going? You already coded like 2 classes ago. Who was going to code today? I don't know. And does anybody remember? Yeah, Raphael, Andre, people are still joining us. Maybe Andrew. Hey, Andrew. Oh, you coded last class, did you?
No, I coded like maybe 3 or 4 classes ago.
Yeah, okay. Why don't you code today then? Yeah? Is that
Should I
okay?
just? Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Should I just
click
pick
on
up
the
where
link that
Varsha?
in a private window, in a private incognito window or something, click on the link that Varsha shared, and that is Fatima's code. And then what we'll do is just, focus on sections of this code and say, hey guys, does everybody understand this, and so on and so forth. Right? And then we'll, complete the class, maybe do an app using that class, and so on. By the way, Andrew, do you have a Mac or a PC?
I have a Mac.
Yeah, okay, cool. No worries. So in that case, I'll also show you how to use the command line and stuff. There was something I thought of. With, yeah. In this game, you can, yeah, compiling from the command. Okay, yeah, dismiss the blue part. Yeah, thank you, Andrew. And around midway, when through the class, someone else should also take over and code from Andrew. Okay, so you should basically just get ready, or and click the close add also, so you get more real estate. Now I can reduce the size of this. Yeah, fit more of you on the screen. Okay. Yeah, I think I can see most of you anyway. Right. And by the way, if you talk, if you're not showing up on the screen, I don't know. Do you guys see a ribbon of like two film strips of each of you guys in and then the screen on the left? Is that how you see it? I don't know. I guess each person can select their own view, but there is a default view if in case you didn't go and select one, right? In Zoom. Well, I don't know. Okay, so in Zoom, there must be a default view of, when someone is sharing the screen, what do the other, is it one speaker or a gallery or things like that? So for me, I've got the gallery, but it's not all of you. Okay, all right. So this thing here, we are creating a class. Okay, so this is what this code does. And anybody who doesn't understand this, ask a question, or you can go as it doesn't matter if it just doesn't click. You keep on asking questions. That's okay. Okay, because this is the basic template you're going to be using for all of your programming, classes, whether it's C++ or not. Yeah, it's object oriented. It's, this whole thing with class and encapsulation, it's not just the syntax of the language. It is a way of thinking about problems in general. So because once you get the hang of it, then you will also think about problems in a way that can be black boxed. Okay, because if you look at most newbie hires, they're usually in a panic when they are presented with a problem, a big problem, a real problem. That's because there's so many parts in it, and they're looking at all of it. Say, well, there's no way I could possibly, understand this whole system. It's all, it's crazy, and they and many people panic, and but if you've been through that a long time ago in your life, you can recognize this in other people's, when they're onboarding and things like that, and so you can reassure them. Saying, well, it is because you're looking at the whole thing, you see everything, right? But with time, you start abstracting things out, okay? And then you see the higher level structure, which is actually much simpler to comprehend. There's not so much randomness. All the clumps will basically, there'll be some kind of relationship. So what that means is, you tend to look at a big problem with lots and lots of subproblems, but you say that this group of subproblems is similar, okay? So there's one solution that will fit all of those guys. There's one solution that will fit all of these guys. Right. And then you see all these things, and then the whole problem looks much more tractable. And that is the object-oriented way of also approaching, the syntax of these languages, I guess, right? Because you're basically saying that I'm going to create a class whose inner workings don't need to be visible to other people, because it'll just, useless for them to know. Why burden them with knowledge they don't need to worry about? So we'll just provide a guarantee saying here is a new type called node. Okay, like your int or string or something like that. There's a type called node, and I'm going to define what this type does. Okay, inside of this type, you got an integer, you got a pointer, you got this, and you got that. And what can this type do? Well, it's capable of doing something called get data. You define all these methods and attach to it. Okay. In fact, later on, maybe in quest 6, maybe, or 7, you also get, for extra credit, I think, in the quest, a chance to override the operators. So you can actually say, for the type I create, I want to define the plus operator, the minus operator. So you can actually create a set type, for example, right? Set minus set, set difference and set union and so on and so forth. So you can redefine plus and minus and so on very, very soon, in a couple of weeks, by the time you're doing those quests. Okay. So that is basically what it is. You're saying this is my class, right? And scroll up a little bit. I think you missed the node class. Yeah. Right. So this is it says I have a type called node. Okay. When someone says give me an int, you give them an int. But but if this thing is defined, they might say give me a node, and this is what you're going to give them. You're going to give them a node object. This is basically the template. You stamp it off this and you give it to them. Okay. And inside of this node object, I have things that should be private. Shouldn't even be visible to those guys because it'll confuse them. That is the abstracting things out, the black boxing of these things. Which is really what makes big problems tractable, right? Because otherwise they're not tractable. You got to say, that this part will be done here and so on and so forth. Yeah, and then it actually, you just look at a finite number of pieces, with believing that these guys have solutions of their own, which is what you do in cs2a in up to intermediate anyway. You're doing all the little problems to make sure that all these classes of problems you're familiar with. And so when you go on to solve the bigger problems, you'll basically not be thinking about the details and say, well, what, here I'll use this and here I'll use that. And it is all still creative problem solving, but the pieces that you use are at different levels of the hierarchy. That's all. So you just need to get good at it at one level. Okay. And then just recalibrate the size of the pieces as you approach each level of, programming in your life. So that's basically all there is to it, essentially. All right. So does anybody have, this is the structure of the class. Okay. This syntax, you got to type out a few classes. Okay. Andrew or Andre, no, Andrew, you asked the question. Yes.
Yeah.
About the class and all. Was it you, Andrew, that you said, give us a bit more information about classes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's a total coincidence. You're also coding. I wasn't thinking about that, saying, thinking, about that when I said, Andrew, can you code today? You're also coding, yes? Live coding.
Yeah, and like with.
Hey, you're cutting out or something, okay? Andrew, you're cutting out. Can you say a full sentence or something like that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. I don't know. Yeah, I'm only hearing spurts of what you're saying, really.
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Okay, now I can hear you. But I don't know. Is it just me, and maybe someone else should chime in, okay? Because previously when I was talking, there's either a gap or and then a spurt, okay?
No, he's definitely cutting out.
He was cutting out, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, yeah. All right. It wasn't, sometimes
Sorry, my Wi-Fi is kind of bad.
My internet connection too, so who knows? But thank you, Byron. Hey, but Andrew, where are you going?
I'm back. My Wi-Fi is kind of bad. I switched to a different one, but I'm not sure if you can hear me okay.
Now it's fine, okay? Yeah, now
Okay.
it's okay.
I can give it another shot, and then if it continues, then maybe find someone else.
Oh, is it the same Wi-Fi?
No, this is I'm on a different Wi-Fi now.
Yeah. I think this signal is strong, so we should just go ahead with this.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. But you heard everything that I was saying about the class, right? You asked a question about the class, and I said this is basically the class structure.
Yeah.
You got to define 4 or 5 of these classes yourself, okay? Because this template, the words and where they go and everything, that's important to get used to, because that's the part that's most likely to be different from other languages. Conceptually, everything is basically the same. All the programming languages, right? They let you do the same thing. but the way they ask you to do it is, you got to learn. Those are the language specific things. So type out, node and so on and so forth. Okay, like that. And again, it is just like math. Again, I think I've repeated this like 4 or 5 times, maybe in this class, one or 2 times at least. It is just like math. When you read the book, the proof will make total sense. Okay, I'm pretty sure a good chunk of you are also enrolled in math. Okay, some math courses that require hard proofs to be done. Yeah. So when you look through the math textbook and say, well, you know what, I got to master this, and you read through like 20 pages of math text, okay, and all the proofs will make sense to you. Yes, you should, I don't know, I have had this experience as a student myself. So by the time you read it and you say, well, it all makes sense, I can do it in my head now because I read it in the book and I absorbed it. All right, but you get the exact same question in an exam and you basically fumble, saying, oh my gosh, at this point, what, right? And it is I've had that experience, and I think I can relate it to, this is what you're going to be feeling. Because when we're doing coding in class and Andrew is coding and I'm dictating, or Fatima's dictating, or Byron, whatever it is, right? Someone else is dictating and someone else is coding. If you are not coding on your own, right, on a laptop or a different window or something like that, you may think, well, you know what, I was just following along really, really closely, right? Whatever Andrew was typing, I was doing in my head. That does not cut it, okay? Because, at the end, it'll be gone. So I think my strongest recommendation to you is basically just do it yourself. And that is why I was actually very happy with, Sophia, 2 classes or 3 classes ago. We lost the URL or something like that for something. And she said, no, well, you know what, I've been typing it with you guys since I've got that URL. So we picked up the, URL that Sophia shared and went with that, right? So that is the best practice. Everybody should be doing that. Okay, so is in case, even if Andrew forgets to post the URL, someone else can post it. Yeah. So all of you should do that. Okay, all right. Enough of blabbering on and on like that. Okay, so that is a node class. Now, the other thing we did was, we created a new class called stack. So let's go to lines 28 onwards. Yeah, 28 onwards. Yeah, okay. All right. So we created a new class called stack. Okay, and we said, it has a private variable whose type is node. In fact, node is a type that you just defined up there. Yeah, and you said here, stack is another type I'm going to define, but inside of that stack, I'm going to use an object of the type that I just created up there, node. Okay, so I said, here's what a node looks like. And inside of stack, I'm saying, well, give me a node. Okay, so that's what I'm saying there. In fact, I'm saying, give me a node on the heap, okay, which is a node pointer. Okay, in other words, I'm saying, give me a variable called top, okay, belonging, a variable called top, or a member called top that lives inside the stack frame. No, not stack frame, geez, okay, the stack object. Okay, it lives inside of that. And it's a pointer, and the contents of that is actually a full node. Okay, so there's a lot to unpack there, I think, for third classes on stack. No, on classes. Yes, you're right, Andrew. Okay. But today is Thursday, and this is week 8. Okay, week 8. So, and how about week 9 also? We continue with this. Okay, until everybody is completely solid, we'll just keep going over this again and again. And when you're happy, week 9. I think week 10 and 11 will work on linked lists. Yeah. And in fact, even use that as an opportunity to cover some of the hard, potentially difficult mini quests. Well, not directly quest code, but potentially difficult concepts you'll find in the mini quests. In quest 9. Quest 9 is the hardest quest, okay? So I think finish all the other ones as soon as you can so that you get as much time as possible for quest 9. Okay, because it has pointers and everything else that you've learned so far. So in class stack, we're saying, give me a pointer called top, and it'll point to a node. Okay, and our aim there is to get a node, but a node has a pointer to another node. Okay, so we're going to create a stack of nodes. Okay, basically a chain of nodes. Okay, node pointing node to node, just chain. Okay, like that, and we hold on to the first one, right? That was no, the last one that was pushed in. Okay, and say that's the top of the stack. When a new guy comes in, we're just going to say, get the new guy, get him to point to this guy and say, this is now the top. Okay, so every time a new item comes into the stack, we just say, push it on top, okay? And push, the old one one step down. That's essentially what's going on in the push operation. Okay. Is there did we do a push and all in for stack? I think so. Yeah. Someone actually talked about it in the forum too. There was a post saying, well, this is a pop or push or something like that. Yeah. Pop. About the delete operation. Yeah. Okay. Well, how about now? Okay. How about now? Because Andrew asked a question and all. Okay. I have 6:22. All right. How about until 6:30? Okay. Until about 6:30, 6:32 or something like that, 10 minutes of time. I'll just turn away from the laptop so that all of you can discuss this code and make sure you understand this. Okay. Without me, breathing down your neck. So I'll turn the laptop around. Okay. And I'll wander off.
Actually,
yeah.
Can I ask a question to you?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So I think like I have a better understanding of classes now that we've been working with it for the past couple classes, but for pointers, I'm still pretty confused. Like for the top pointer, how does it know like it's gonna be the
right. So instead of node star
one?
top, if I had int star top, what would you say?
We're declaring a variable called top. That's an integer.
No, int star top.
Int star.
Int star.
I'm not like, I don't know what the star.
Oh, that's
means.
why. So,
like,
all right.
yeah,
Okay.
I want more information.
Okay.
On pointers.
Yeah. By the way, were you there last class on Tuesday?
I was, yeah.
Yeah, I maybe we talked about it briefly, or too briefly anyway. Chances are if you missed it, other students also would have missed it. Star is the opposite of the ampersand. The ampersand, it says, give me the address of the variable. Star says, this is already an address. The star, give me the contents of the variable. Okay. Address of, contents of. Ampersand is the opposite of star, just like log and e to the x.
Okay.
Yeah. So star top means, int star top means, well, if I said int x, I know x is an integer. Yes. But instead of int x, if I said int star x, then I mean that star x is an integer. Yes.
Yeah.
If I said int x, x is an integer. If I said int star x, then I mean star x is an integer. Yes or no? I got everybody to understand here. Okay. Everybody should say, yes, I understand. And, give me a thumbs up or something like that. Otherwise, we're not proceeding from here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Just Varsha, just only one person. Right. Everybody. Okay. At the same time, because if you all go at different times, I have no idea, yeah. Give me a thumbs up like Mir did. Okay. Yeah. Thumbs up on the, in your Zoom thing, because at least that stays for a little while. No, in the Zoom. All right. Okay. Never mind. Hey, Tristan, you go. Okay. Maybe it's faster for me to ask. Zach, you okay? Sumit, Jesse, you good? Jesse, you good? Okay. Varsha, I know she was good. Aiden, good. Sophia, you just joined us. Yes.
Yes.
So,
I
so int star x means, star x is an integer. Int x means x is an integer. Are you okay with that?
Wait, so if we defined x as an integer like 10, and then what would be the difference of returning just x or star x? Wouldn't they both return 10?
I'm sorry. If we defined what?
Like, say you defined x as 10, like you put int x equals 10 somewhere above in the code, and then you had something that returned x, that like you see out x or you see out star x. What would be the difference?
It'll do 10. X
for both
if you
star
say
x and x
equals 10, then everywhere you use x, it's going to use 10, isn't it?
Yeah. So what would be the difference between star x and just x?
Okay. You can say int star x equals 10. Okay. Because int star x means star x is an integer, not int x is an integer. Okay. You can only initialize x. You can't initialize star x. So int star x means, star x is an integer. X is some memory address. The contents of that memory address, star of that memory address, is an integer. So x is basically a pointer to an integer, a pointer, a memory address where an integer is stored. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Any other? Well, Mir's got a question. Okay. So yeah, hey Mir, go ahead. Ask. Can't hear you. Can't hear you. Mir, I still can't
Can you
hear
hear
you.
me now?
Yeah, okay, I can hear you now.
All right. I was asking, so if I were to initialize, like if I were to write int of star x, that means it would take it as star x as the variable.
No, it'll take x as a variable, but
Okay,
it
but
says,
star would be
yeah,
the
it'll take
address.
x is your variable, but star x is the contents of that variable, which is an address.
Okay, but
X is
isn't
your variable, but it's an address variable. It's
address?
a pointer
Okay,
variable
all right, I understand.
because star x is an integer. Because you just said star x is an integer. You told the compiler star x is an integer.
Right,
Yeah, that means it knows that x must be a memory location. X is a
right.
pointer.
So if I were to call both outputs for example, if I were to say C out, like let's just like show me the integer for like x equal to and x star equal or star x equal to. So will it just show me 10 for both of them?
No. If you basically, if you didn't we do that exercise last class? Right. Open another window. Aiden, no, Andrew, just open another GDB window. We did this exact same thing last class, I think, or maybe yeah. All right. Yeah, online GDB, and then just go to yeah. All right. Yeah, get rid of all the black everything in the get rid of it. Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. Hash include IO stream and then using namespace also is good. All right, and then inside of main, go to inside of the brackets, inside of the there you go. Yeah, say int n equals 10. Okay, right now enter, and so Mir is saying that you could say something like int space star m m equals 10. So all right, so this if I did I understand right, this was your question, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can't do that because you're saying m is a memory address, and I'm saying that memory address is actually number 10, the 10th byte past the null pointer.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Now I
Right?
get it. I understand what you're saying. Okay, okay. I
Okay,
understand.
so you're
Okay.
actually
So you're
initializing,
saying,
technically you can do that. Okay,
right, right,
suppose you had a hardware device that is mapped to a very specific address in memory,
right. I see.
because
I
you have
understand what
that
you're
in
saying. Okay.
many operating systems.
Right. I'm sorry. I got, yeah. I understand. So you're talking about a specific address within the memory. So that's
Yes.
okay. I understand. All right. I got it. Thank you.
No, but I want to make sure that everybody understands that. Okay, not just you. All right. Does anybody have any questions about what we just did? Okay, this is small digression, and we did an experiment here, right? Not an experiment. Created the discussion point in code. Does anybody have any questions about this? Yeah. No. Everybody's okay.
I have a question.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Moment.
What is the difference between a reference to a variable like x ampersand versus a pointer?
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Did you ask the exact same question before? Maybe Andrew or Andre did. Maybe afterwards. All right. So here, his question is that. Okay. All right. All right. So let's say we write two functions. Okay. Go to line three, and hit enter. Right. Yeah. One more enter and then go up. Yeah. Go up. Yeah. Okay. So now say void space increment underscore n. Okay. In increment underscore you know what, we should call it n. I just call it increment. What the hell, this is an experiment, right? Yeah, I just call it increment. That's fine. Okay. And then you get rid of the underscore n, right? And then the parameter to it, and the parameter to it has got to be int space ampersand, and call it I don't know s, or t. We don't call, yeah. The reason I'm calling it differently is because, just want to make the thing very clear. Okay, go to the end. Yeah, curly brace, space. Yeah, enter. Yeah, okay. And here you want to say T++, okay? All right, that's it. Okay, and then let's do one more. Okay, go to the line 6 and hit enter. Okay, now you want to say void increment no, not yeah, okay, we can actually do that. Okay, because can you do that? Yeah. No, it'll just, it'll confuse people. Okay, it's okay for the compiler actually to actually have two functions of the same name, just differing in the parameters. It's permitted in C++, and
you're
that's
going to overload it.
Yeah, overloading. But I don't want to call it increment because it'll just confuse students. Let's call it increment. Oh yeah, call it alternate increment, okay, or something like that. It's just an experiment, right? Yeah, alternate increment. Yeah, okay. Right, now we want to say int star p. Okay. All right. Now curly brace. Yeah, enter. Now Mohammed's question. Yeah, close it, and we'll fill out the body of it now. Right. All right. Okay. So Mohammed's question is, what's the difference between the two different ways? Yes or no? Mohammed, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it'll accomplish pretty much the same thing, but here what you have to do is say star p, right? Star p equals star p plus 1. Okay, star p plus 1. I think you can say plus equals 1 also. You can just say plus equals 1. I think everybody should be familiar with that, right? Okay, that says hang on. Yeah. The contents of that memory location, add 1 to the contents of the memory location, right? You put a comment on that line saying add 1 to the contents of memory location P. So this is what you're doing. And there you're saying, add 1 to the variable T passed by a reference. Okay, for the first one, add 1 to the variable T, which is an alias to the variable passed by reference. You should know what it is. Okay, right. So that is the fundamental difference. The syntax is different. You can't do the exact same thing. And if you wanted to use an object, if you pass a pointer, you have to say object, the pointer arrow methods, pointer arrow member. Okay, if it's a reference, you can just use dot. I think that someone asked a question, and someone has, maybe Byron or someone answered in the forum saying, hey, this is the value of the arrow. Now someone did a post of saying, well, what is the value of the arrow in the code, rather than using I appreciated reading that post. Okay, whoever it was.
Yeah, I posted about the arrow function.
Yeah. That was a nice post. All right, does it answer your question, Mohammed?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like you're still a little shaky on exactly what the thing is, and that's perfectly natural. So what you should do is you should continue to be uncomfortable, but try to resolve the confusion by thinking about it every spare moment you got, and then ask in the forums, saying I'm still not 100% on board with this. Does anybody else feel uncomfortable, and so on, and you can talk to each other and provide each other examples and explanations. And it'll suddenly crystallize. Hey, Sumit, you got a question?
Yeah, Professor. So first of all, I really like the reference thing because
which one?
I really like using references because looks like yeah. So, but my question was more about let's say when we create a pointer, there are two things essentially. There's a pointer and it points to something. So we have to do two initializations. So given that C++ has references, is it possible to always resort to using a reference instead of a C-style pointer?
No. To always use a reference instead of a pointer? Yeah. No, you can't do that, because references have some constraints. Like you can only, you can't just pointers, you can do things with them. You can increment them, decrement them, change the value, and so on. But once you create an alias, you can't change it. It's got to point to the same thing. It's an alias. You got two objects of exactly the same kind. So it's got some pointers are more flexible. And that is why in linked data structures like lists and trees and graphs and so on, we use pointers. You can't use a reference, and the compiler will basically just barf at that. Yeah, this is a good question. In fact, you should try, like you said, you like using references. Yeah, me too. Anytime I can use a reference, especially if it's a const reference, I absolutely totally love it because I don't have to do anything with it. Just read it as much as I want. And it's good to pass const references too, because nothing is going to happen to that thing. So yeah, I love using references, but there are places where you have to use pointers. In fact, in question number 4 of I think cs2b, or maybe cs2c, I don't know. No, yeah, I think maybe cs2c. No, maybe cs2b. So quest 4, you have to master a new syntax altogether, right? Which is a reference and a pointer at the same time to the variable, right? So it's a reference to a pointer to a variable. And it's really strange the first time you look at it, but even that will become second nature, right? And it's just a matter of time always, right? All of these things, but it's fun, and you'll know this is the reason I need to use a reference and a pointer and them together, so you'll know exactly why you do that. So it's yeah, it'll be fun.
So does that mean in a class, I have a follow-up question. Does that mean if a class contains a reference,
the
then
class can't, I don't think a class can contain maybe it can contain an internal reference, meaning it gives you two members of the same name.
Okay.
Because if you can't, I don't think you can initialize a reference at runtime. Oh, can you? I don't know. I'm just talking off the top of my head here. Why can't you? There's no reason why you can't, because it could. Well, it has to be an object for that to refer to, and the object is only created at runtime, and then you have many of those. Yeah, well, the reference is essentially created at runtime when you call a function that's instantiated runtime, I guess. An object or a method that's instantiated runtime, which has that. Yeah, all right, we'll come to that later, okay? Because I gotta clarify the way I would say that anyway.
Yeah. So last question is, this means that a reference is not just syntactic sugar, it's something else than a pointer. Meaning, earlier I used to think that reference is just syntactic sugar to.
No. Yes, that is a fantastic observation. It is not syntactic sugar. It is distinct from a pointer. It shares functionalities in some way, by accomplishing similar things, but it's they're different. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, good. And it's good to actually get to that point of seeing the distinction between references and pointers, because that can convince you, or give you everybody, right, a point saying, well, if I can see the difference between a reference and a pointer, then I totally understand. Well, not totally, solidly enough, right? Understand both of them. I think it's very important for C++. Yeah, especially as you enter cs2b, if you're planning to do cs2b and all.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you for asking that question. Are there any other questions?
Yeah, I actually have a quick question.
Yeah, sure, Enzo, go for it.
So for line 14 and 15, or I guess the whole program, when you try to compile it, for line 15, it says you can't do it because it's like doing it's like, what was that line originally trying to show or do?
Yeah, it was basically saying you can't do that. Oh, it's saying this here?
Yeah.
Okay.
You need to allocate a pointer before,
but the left side is a pointer. You can't initialize a pointer to an integer.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was just confused about why we wrote that. Was it just like to show that it doesn't work, or?
No. We wrote that because Muhammad said, "What's the difference?" or something like that. Yeah, to say that. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's what it was, Muhammad. I forgot.
Wait, yeah? Faisal, I have a question.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Andre.
So, to simplify things, can you just always think of like when you're using the pointer operator, you can only assign it to an address, right? Can I think of it like that?
Yes. When you're using the pointer variable, when you're in a pointer initializer, right?
Yeah.
You can only assign an address.
Okay.
Yeah, and in fact, it's a very fantastic question because there's no reason why that should be the case. Because we're saying int star n equals 10, saying, well, oh, yes, of course. There's a reason. Because when you say int star n equals 10, you're saying n is a pointer, but it does not point to any memory right now, or any memory that belongs to me. It hasn't been allocated yet. So you can't make it 10, right? So we couldn't make that statement mean that give me a pointer, the contents of whose is 10. But we can't do that in C++ or C. And that is
Right.
why
So
the will only do the pointer.
Right, so remember like I think it was like two classes ago, I was saying how like the only reason you would want to have a pointer is when you want to dynamically allocate more memory, or you don't, or you want to actually like not make a reference of that. And I think the main thing I was trying to get at is in C++ is the default behavior of like I guess is the default behavior referencing a copy every time you access some variable, or is it always through pointers?
In C++,
Does that make sense?
in C++, when you pass objects around, are you saying?
Yeah.
When you pass an object as a parameter in C++, it is always passed by copy. All right. If you want to pass by reference, you got to say pass by reference with the ampersand in front of the parameter name. If you want to pass a
Right.
pointer, you got to say this is a pointer. So when you pass it, you're already extracting the address and point.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it answers my question.
Yeah. So those are the three different ways in which you can pass these parameters. Are there any other questions before I hand over to you guys? 10 minutes just to go over all the code, right? And maybe we'll reconvene at 5 to 7 or something like that. And then we'll develop this code, complete it, test it out, and then do a little game that's based on this. Okay, how does that sound like a plan? Like 10 minutes for you guys to scroll up and down, maybe even complete a method. I will re-implement the method after I come back anyway. If there's anything missing here, you can implement it. If there's any bugs in here, you could fix it. Okay, and then when I come back, we'll just review everything, and then we'll fix anything that needs fixing, and then we'll go on to the code. All right, how about that? All right, so how about you guys look at this code, complete it or fix it or add to it, or even just talk about it, saying, hey, can you scroll to this part? I don't understand, right? Maybe Enzo or Barsha or someone, right? Will say, let me explain this. And maybe you get a couple of different points of view. Like Sumit might say it one way, and Aiden might describe it another way. So all of these things will actually help. So how about that? 15 until about almost 7 o'clock. Do you guys want to talk about this code? Make sure everybody's really, really comfortable with this, because it is really important. Yeah, it has a lot of different concepts in it, right? It's only 85 lines or so, but it has a lot of important concepts in it. Right? Even the code and the logic in the code is very important. Like when you pop the order in which, and someone said, hey, temp, that's why temp is, I saw a post in Reddit. Someone said, hey, that's why temp is important, because otherwise, you'll have a memory leak. All of those things. Okay. All right. So are you guys ready for, me to hand over to you guys for 15 minutes? Yeah, I did promise last class that you'll get a chance to essentially, brainstorm and code. So let's make that up front here at 15 minutes now, so that, after we start, we can code until the end of class. Is that good with you guys? Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. So we got, a couple of people thumbs up, which means that, there's at least someone who will take the lead if there's total silence. All right. Thank you. All right. I'm just going to be behind the screen here, so don't worry.
Can anybody share also the code? Is it possible?
Wait, what did you say?
if you can say that this online GPT, like for me to have a look, because I was not in the last class, so I missed this.
Oh, the link, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I can. Wait, we haven't done anything in this class. It's just what Varsha posted,
Oh,
but I can post it again.
this was from the last class, right?
Yeah, I just sent the link.
Okay,
Hello?
thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Do you want to continue the code that you were writing, Andrew? Or do you want to do something else?
Can I ask
This
a
is
question?
what we were doing last class.
Yeah, go ahead, Sophia.
This underscore in front of the data, is this does it have function? Sorry for the noise. This like int underscore data, why the underscore is there?
It's just a naming convention.
Okay.
So it makes it the code easier to read. So if you see an underscore, it implies that it's a private member. I don't think it has any other significance. It's just a convention they follow.
Okay. So because I see it all over, like in public, like later there's a null pointer top and so on. So this is like that's a private member. Okay. Thank you.
So like, Andrew, do you want to continue coding, or like, do we just talk about something different? I mean, like, do we code something different?
I'd
Can
be
someone go through this code and kind
if
of
someone wants to
explain it
dictate.
somewhere?
If someone wants to dictate, I can like code through it. But I feel like there's still.
I think it's just like clarification. Like if anyone has questions, then we can just answer them.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I like, thank you for bringing the classes and pointers thing, because I was also a bit confused about it initially, but now I get it. So, I mean, if
Oh, wait, could I ask you a question then?
sure. Wait, sorry, give me a second. My roommate's calling me. Sorry.
Okay.
I have a very brief question. So for the void push that we have right next to the bottom of our stack class, why is it the star p for like node star p when we're declaring the node?
Can we say that again?
For then
For line 63.
line is 74, line 74.
74.
Like, why do you
Okay.
declare it? Why do you declare an object with a star? Like, I get declaring a variable, but maybe I just don't quite understand what an address means for an object.
Well, yeah, what the fuck? Because I thought you can only assign a pointer to an address, right? That doesn't. Wait.
New returns and in here.
I
actually
can
new-
take a shot at it. So if the new method, right, in this case, it actually, what it's probably doing is creating a memory of size node and then returning the pointer to that memory. So the node star p is just the declaration, and then the new node gives you the location.
Wait, can we see the method? I mean, the class node again. I want to see what the method is doing.
I think I get it. So it's like you're saying star p so that you know it's an address that, like, when on the next line you say underscore top equals p, you can update sort of the address and like push everything down. Because otherwise it would be like sort of pushing down the sort of the data inside a node rather than just the address being given.
Wait, so you're updating the memory address of P to point to the new node. So like each node is pointing to the new node.
Yeah, it's like you need to do that in line 74 so that line 75 can work by making the top address be an address, not being like, I don't know. Like, I guess you would just have to define the operator equals if it wasn't an address. I think. But because it's an address, you can just say equals, and then you're moving the address into top. I think I might be wrong.
Sorry, Andrew, did you have a question? I apologize.
Oh, I think it got answered.
All right, cool. But yeah, I mean, if like essentially what he's trying to say, if no one understood, or like this is what I understood from his explanation, it's like I'd say like a class is like a sort of a blueprint, like it defines like what how the value within it is supposed to act. Like you can give it like a different type of function, whereas like in like I say a pointer, or you can call pointers, like you can it just contains the memory address, like where that value is stored within the given memory. And the class is like in that specific memory, what is that value with, like what is that value of that, of that specific part of that memory, like what value are we assigning to that memory. So it's like it's like bookshelves or something like that, and then each where each thing is, and you just you put, like you assign I think a label, like this is for um like this is like math textbooks, or science textbooks or things like that, and you just put them each there. Like I mean, I I hope that's right. I don't know. I don't want to, like, this is what I understood from it, but I don't know if you guys can explain it better. Sorry, I'm just gonna shut up.
Wait. I have a question. I wasn't here last class, but it looks like we have two constructors in our node class, right? So the first one is when you're passing in a null pointer, and then the second one is when you're passing in underscore data and then underscore next. Can anyone verify?
I think one is
Does
when
anyone
you
know?
have like if you have like a node that just
Yeah.
has like one element in it,
Uh,
then you do the first one, and then the second one I think is for when you want to like create the actual linked list that has like multiple nodes in it.
so, okay, so the only way that the compiler would know which constructor to call is based on the arguments that you provide, right? So if you
Mhm.
were to call like node n2 and then you put 20 and then the address of n1, which is, then it would call the second constructor, right? So like it would determine which constructor to call based upon what you put to call it, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's like the same concept as you can have two different functions with the same name as long as the parameters are different, and depending on what parameters are inside when you call it, it goes to either or.
Oh wait, you can have two. Did you say you can have two methods with the same name but different parameters?
Yeah, like I think that's the same. It's the same concept. Like you can have um like string x
Oh
and
yeah,
then
yeah, yeah, yeah.
with something, and then you can have with just like one input, or you could have string x with two inputs, and then they'd be two different like signatures.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or even
I
even closer than that is if you had only one print or one input for each of them, but they were different kinds of input. So if like you have an int for one and a double for another, it would distinguish between them.
Oh yeah.
About pointers as well, I had one question. Would you also be able to like store a memory address of an array, like like an array containing multiple values? So that means if I want to access a value from that array, would I have to call on that address and then specify what value I want from that address?
I
So
think.
you can answer, Andrew.
Wait, Mir, are you asking? So like you're asking if you had an array, could you assign the memory address of that array to a pointer? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, but if no, I'm talking about like we can do that, but I'm asking how do we access it from the pointer? Like, do we
Wouldn't you
call the
just
pointer?
wouldn't
And
you
then
just
is it the same thing where you just call the pointer and then like specific address of that array that you want to take the value from?
wait, are you trying to extract the memory address of every single element of that array or just the array
Yeah,
itself?
no, like every single element.
Wouldn't you have to do a loop? Wouldn't you have to loop through the array?
Okay, so you just have to loop and just it calls every but like for example, if I want something specific, right? Would
you
I
want
have
to
to make
index
that?
like?
Yeah.
Okay, I think I get the question if you're fine with me answering. So essentially what you would do is you have an array, which is like a variable, and then you set another thing like a pointer to that variable. So if you're just trying to get the like essentially address of that array, you would just do like what we've been doing. But if you're trying to get like an actual individual like thing from that array, like an individual point from that array, you would essentially do the whole star p. I think it'd be like star p gives you the actual array, and then you'd star p brackets the actual thing, because essentially star p is representing that array, and you're trying to like pick the item in that array. If I understand how this works correctly. Now, it would be that hard to run some code if
I think you have to put the star
Andrew
p
wants to do
in
it.
parentheses.
Thank you.
Maybe you would. We can run something very quickly if you want to.
Wait, so like if we have an index and then
Yeah, do you want to do in main just to, I guess I don't know if it matters.
yeah, sure.
Yeah, so just make a variable that represents an array.
An array. Okay. I'll just do it like a
Yeah. Yeah, for the case of this, you just have to do like 2 or something. Doesn't really matter.
Okay.
And we end it with a set. The correct do the correct brackets, not parentheses.
Oh,
the
my bad.
Curly braces, yeah, and semicolon too. Yeah, and then in the next line, I think you would do like, I don't know, what have we been doing? Let's say string access. I don't know, just call it access, or it'd be star access, I guess. Yeah, star access equals the ampersand cars. I don't know. That might not be the correct thing. I'm not sure if, because you might need to put square brackets there, but I'm not positive. Let's try it without square brackets, and then we can put them in if it doesn't compile correctly. And then
Wait,
semicolon.
around which?
Cars is actually a pointer by itself. Like the name cars is actually already a pointer. When we declare it as this. Right, Sumit?
Yeah, so actually, if you want to take an address, so if we can think about it in a different way. Let's say on line 9, the part that is before the equal to, before the access, what that really means is if you do a dereference, that is, if you do a star on access, it will return a string, whatever is on the left of the access, if that makes sense. But if we were to take on the right side, we have address of cars, meaning this address would return address of an array. So these are actually 2 distinct types. So this, if we run this, it would likely complain that actually we can run this. That would be an interesting exercise, and then we can figure out how to fix this.
Yeah, maybe it would give us the correct errors.
So what we really want on the left side is we want, when we dereference the access, we want to get back an array. So if we put parentheses around access before the star, before the star, and then square brackets.
Where?
Yeah, after the right parentheses, square brackets after the right parentheses. Yeah, here, and then 2 in. Yeah, we would also need 2. Yeah, you have to put the size 2 because the previous. So the way to read this is when we dereference access, it would lead to a string which has 2 elements. The brackets here are because if you look at the precedence table for C, the brackets on the right have higher precedence than the star operator. But we want to force this to be so that when we dereference access, we get an array. So that's roughly the reason for having brackets around access. So in C, the way to read this is when you perform the operation, it's called, the rule is called declaration follows use, meaning the way you're declaring it on the left side, if you did this, it would yield the result that we see on the left side, meaning if we dereference access, it would lead to a array of strings with size 2, if that makes sense. Or
I think I kind of get it.
yeah. So now if we run it, we can see what the compiler says.
We should print it.
Yeah, we should print it.
Why do you need the parentheses around the star access? Like if you remove the parentheses, would it not quite understand how to parse it or something?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good experiment to try. So
yeah, in C++, I think the policy, like, I mean, the rule of thumb is you keep going right as far as you can go and then you go left. I mean, that's my, I mean, what Sumit told was, I think, a little bit more like intelligent way of saying it. But so in this case, if I start, like, if I remove the parenthesis, it will say access is 2 elements, right? Pointer and a string. So it's 2 pointers of string.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right, Sumit, I think, did I mess it up? I mean, there's 2 pointers of string, right? It's an array of
2 pointers to string.
2 pointers to string, yeah.
When we are parsing expressions like these, it's interesting to have the operator precedence table. So from that, we can look at how these associate, meaning, let's say if we did not have, if we remove the parentheses around the access, what would happen is the square brackets have higher precedence, meaning the compiler, when compiling, will first perform that operation. Or, yeah, so it will consider, they associate differently. It's called associativity. So what would happen is, in that case, access associates with the square brackets on the right, and then there's a star after that. So that's why it would mean that this is an array of pointers to 2 strings.
Wait. When you're doing 2, are you accessing Camry by 2? Like
no.
What is the Camry 2? Would be what? I think he's saying 2 is like the size of the array.
Right.
So the left does not actually execute. It's a type on the left side. So
right. My bad. I'm okay.
Yeah, can we print out the, yeah, I'd be interested to see the, maybe you want to put an endl also. Oh, it puts the pointer. Okay, makes sense. Now, if I want to get the first element, what is Mercedes 0? So it should be access 0 and square brackets 0, and then dereference it, or
yeah. So you have to follow.
I think we're missing a parenthesis, right?
Yeah. So when you use it, if you want to get a string out of it, you have to follow the same convention that's in the declaration of the variable.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, makes sense.
I see. Yeah. Can we run some more tests? Like, what if you just print access with no star? Is it another address? So it's like access with a star is the address of cars, and then access with no star is just access's address. Like you're sort of working with 2 separate addresses.
Like
can you do 2 tests with one with just access, no square brackets, and one with access, no square brackets, just access and star? Like delete the square brackets.
Like that?
Can you delete it on the upper one too? and just leave access and star. I put an endl just to make it easier to read.
Wait, I forgot. Is that?
Yeah, it'll be the same address. So since access is an array, it's probably give you the same thing.
Wait, so if I do that, that wouldn't work.
And can you put a star without brackets and see what would happen? Without parentheses. And the second one, line 12. Line 12, put a star, no parentheses. Yeah, like this. Just run it. Oh, so maybe it figured it out somehow. I don't know.
You
That would
don't need.
Wait, try removing the parentheses like when you initialize access. Maybe. Does it work still? Oh.
Okay, so maybe because it was initialized correctly, it can start to understand it. Maybe, I'm not sure. That's interesting.
No, wait, what?
What's going on with the silence? Are you guys good? Can we start coding with the stack class?
Wait, can you go back to the other program really quickly? I have one question. So so right now what we're doing is we're just seeing how pointers work with arrays basically.
Yeah.
And when you on line 11, when you delete the parentheses and keep it with square brackets as 1, it doesn't print anything out. But when you move it to when you make 1 to 0, it prints something out.
No. So cars. Oh, cars. Yeah. See, cars is an array. Yes.
Yeah.
Therefore, cars is a pointer.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So now you're taking the address of cars, which is not the pointer that you want. You're taking the address of a variable that contains the address that you want.
Okay. It's like 2 removed now.
Yeah. So what you need to do is you would probably need string access equals cars. Oh, I see. You want to, what is that access of 2 equals car? What is that? I'm not sure I understand what you're trying to do there. What is it? What is it as star access of 2 equals address of cars? What does it mean?
Pointer to an array containing 2 objects. I think we were experimenting with, someone had a question.
No, that's not the right syntax for these things. So, string star access of 2. Access is a variable, the contents of that, but then you have 2 there. I'm afraid that is that is not syntax I'm used to. So I can't comment much on this. It seems very unnatural to me. I haven't seen that in much code. That
how would you do it?
What do you want?
We're trying to make a pointer 2 cars. I mean, yes, it is like sort of 2 pointers, like or 2 addresses. But we're trying to make a pointer.
So you want another pointer? You would basically say string star access equals cars.
strings. So you don't need the square brackets too then.
No, because cars already is an array with 2 elements in it. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Do you need the
Now, if you want to
ampersand
say,
cars?
star
or...
axis, you don't need to say star axis 1. You say axis of 1, right? That should print Camry on line 11. And then put an endl at the end. Yeah. And then not star axis, it's just axis. Yeah.
I have a question. So
Yeah, sure.
if you were to do like cars by reference, does that give you the pointer to the pointer of the first item in that array?
You want to create a reference to cars?
Well, I'm just saying like the way it was before, would that be giving the pointer to the
I don't
pointer
remember
itself?
the way it was before. I haven't seen that syntax. It looks very unnatural to me and probably wouldn't even compile, I think. Did it compile? Did you try compiling?
It did. Yeah, we got to work
It did
with
compile
that.
with square. So you're oh, I see. So it's a new array of string pointers. Oh, it's a new array of string pointers. Oh, yeah. Okay. So do you have that back again? Can you put that back again? If it compiled, then there must be some, meaning associated with it. This is how it was?
With the 2, yeah.
Okay. So this is a array of 2 items. This is an array of 2 items. Axis, the contents of axis is an array, a string array of 2 items. And so, yeah, that should just be equal to cars, not, address of cars. Just cars. I think that doesn't that compile? Oh, I see. No. It has to be because we want to access contents of it. Address of cars. That is correct. Okay, so that'll compile. And then you can still say axis of 1, and that should print Camry. Shouldn't it print Camry? Does it print Camry?
It did. It does.
It did. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm sorry. I was totally not used to that syntax. I haven't used that kind of syntax myself. But if you pour at it long enough, it does make sense. Yeah. Okay. But the easiest way to do it is basically just say, you have another array called, string star axis equals cars would also do it. Because cars is basically just an address.
Why do you need the ampersand in front of cars?
No, in this case, you need the ampersand.
In this case, yeah.
Because
not in the other case.
You want the address of cars, because the address of axis is our array. Not axis is not an array, but the address, the contents of axis is an array. Axis itself is not an array. According to your declaration, the contents of axis is an array of 2 strings. So it should be the address of cars, because
Professor, the contents of axis should be the pointers to 2 strings, right? Like,
yeah, it's your cars array.
Not the cars array, but the address to the cars, right? I mean, it's a reference to
no, it is saying it is a pointer to a string.
In the number 9
Number
line.
9, yeah.
So if I read it correctly, axis is like it has two objects of like it's an array of something.
Yep. 2
and
strings.
That pointers to strings, right? Because of the star operator there.
No, it's an array of 2 strings. It's so string. So instead of star axis, imagine it just said ABC. So then you'd say ABC is an array of 2 strings.
That's right. Yeah, but in this case, since there is a star pointer, it should be a reference to a string, right? Or no? Is that because that's why the
no. It means that the
cars
contents of it means the contents of the variable axis is an array.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
But
okay,
cars
is an array.
Mm-hmm.
Address of cars is the address of the array, the address of the variable array. So the contents of the address is our array.
Mm-hmm.
So because of this convolutedness is the reason why we haven't I haven't seen that syntax a lot, but that's what this means. That's why it compiles and it works also.
Okay. Yeah, I was just trying to work my way, figuring like using the normal way we decipher these. I mean, this is obviously not a standard thing, but like, yeah. I thought it was pointer.
It is. I'm pretty sure I won't ask these things in the final, but it's a good question. Enzo, thanks for bringing it up, because going into the nitty-gritty details of this, and even those unnatural syntax, but doing this once lets you ponder enough about the distinctions between pointers and arrays and references, all the address operator, all of that thrown into the mix in just 10 lines. Okay, it's perfect. Perfect to basically sink your teeth into and understand these concepts well. So I like the fact that this sparked this discussion. So all this says is that axis, instead of axis, just say X, okay? Or just say A, just say A.
Wait, before you keep explaining, Andrew, can you open up like Sketchpad or something and like jot down like the flow chart of what's happening right now to make it easier to visualize?
Wait, I don't know what. Okay.
Like sketchpad.io, I think. I don't know.
We got to complete that other program too, right? We got to. Well, why don't you guys do this in your own time? Yeah. Because it's 7:20, and then we got a half hour. We got to finish that other program. You got a smiley face.
Okay, if we finish the other program, can you come back to us if we finish before the end of class?
Yeah, sure. We can come back to this later.
Thanks.
Okay. So do we have a main here? All right. So go to line 83, hit enter. I will print out the stack contents just to make sure it all works. Okay. Yeah. Enter one more time, backspace. Yeah, backspace. I say for int I equals 0, I less than mystack.size. Do we have a mystack.size? Oh, we don't have a stack size. Okay, so let's do a while loop. Okay. Yeah, I think that's much better. So yeah, while stack is empty. Yeah. You already just started typing it, did you? My stack dot not while not vertical bar, the exclamation mark. Why not? Yeah. My stack dot is empty. Dot is empty. Empty. Okay, open close. That's our function call. No. Open close after is empty. It's a function call. Yeah. No, not square brackets. Function call. While not is empty. Yeah. On the next line, you can say, yeah. Oh, we need curly braces because we're going to have two statements. Yeah, curly braces after the while. Yeah. All right. So here you're going to say, top int star popped value. Okay. Int star top. Int space top underscore value equals top underscore val equals my stack dot top. Do we have a method called top? Do you have something called top that returns the top value of the stack at all?
Yeah, we do.
We do. Okay. Yeah. There it is. I see it. Okay. Yeah. Open close parentheses. Semicolon. Yeah. Next line, you're going to say my stack dot pop. Open close. Semicolon. Right. Next line, you're going to say C out left shift. And then within quotes, you're going to say popped. And then space and then close quote and then left shift top val. And then endl. Okay. All right. And now let's run it. We'll make sure it works. Okay. I think you need a return 0 at the end of a main because it's an int main. Maybe the compiler will let you slide. Let it slide. Did it compile before?
No.
Int max. No, that needs to be was int max.
That's up here.
Yeah. Well, why didn't it like int max? Why did it like int max?
I think you need to include C limits at the top.
Oh, I see. Go to the top and say hash include c std lib. Okay. Hash include c std lib. C lib, is it? Was it my Byron? Was it c lib?
I put C limits.
Oh, C limits, C limits, C limits. Yeah. Okay. All right. I think it should work now. There you go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. You only used 5? What happened to 10 and all? Why didn't we get the? No. I think the
it
size of the
probably
console is too small.
went above.
No, I think the console is too small. Make the console bigger. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. There you go. You got 9. We didn't push 10. Yeah. Because I less than 10. It stopped at 9. Okay. So we pushed numbers on the stack and then we popped them in the reverse order, basically. Right? Push 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then we pop in the reverse order. Yes. Okay. So let's do our game. Okay. Really quickly. Yeah. We got a lot of time. Right. I think let's do our game. So get rid of the main, right? Get rid of the main, and we'll do a new main. Okay. Yeah. Not the whole thing. Yeah. We'll just do a new main. Okay. So, and let's put some comments on top of the main on line 79. Hit enter. Okay. And by the way, Andrew, you've been coding for a while. Does anybody want to pick up this code now from Andrew? Thank you, Andrew. Okay. Who wants to code today? Who else wants to code today?
I can take over if.
Yeah. Thank you, Rahul. Yeah, go ahead. Great. Okay. Thank you, Andrew.
Can you send me the
Thank you.
latest? Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. And where's Fatima? She's not here yet. I forgot to thank her last time. Yeah, great. Rahul. Yeah, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, I'm just.
Is there a Mac
It's the second
Rahul?
one, not the first one.
Yeah, got it. Okay.
Mac PC, Rahul?
I'm just opening a Chrome window. It takes time on my PC.
No. Is it a PC or a Mac?
Mac.
Oh, it's a Mac. Okay, all right. So we have a terminal and all, so that's good. Oh, Fatima's here. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Fatima. All right, for coding last class. We just picked up what you shared. Did you just join us? I didn't see you before. Can't hear you, by the way. Oh, 5 minutes after class started. I didn't even see you. Or maybe because the gallery is not showing everybody. Yeah. Okay, all right. Now let's go to our main.
I
And
need
we're
to
going
fork this, right? Like I'm just trying to.
Oh, you got to
figure out.
fork it. Oh, it's already forked and everything.
It's already forked. Okay. Oh, good.
Yeah. Did you want to change the comment or something? We'll put the new comments on top of main. I think that's.
Yeah.
Okay. So on top of main, let's put some new comments. We'll call this game Total Recall. Okay. I have a feeling we used this name for some other game that we wrote in a previous class, in previous quarter. But it's Total Recall game. Here's what we're going to do. Okay. We choose a random number from 0 to 100. Random number from 0 to 100. And I'll show you an animation you can do where the number starts off on the right and then scrolls without using ANSI escape codes and all, just using a /r character. So the number will start here and then it'll scroll to the left edge and disappear. Okay. So you're going to, so that means when that number has gone off here, that means it's gone onto a stack. Okay. So you'll see 3 or 4 numbers go like that. And as the levels, you can knock yourself out afterwards, doing different levels. But the idea is that after 4 or 5 numbers go like that, and they're all on the stack, now you've got to guess the numbers in the reverse order. Okay, so you shouldn't be writing them down and all. And then, so the first number is what was the last number you saw? Okay, then you type in your number. If it is right, it says, okay, what was the number before that? Okay, if it's wrong, you get booted out. Right? If it's right, you'll keep on going until the stack is empty. If the stack is empty, you say, hooray, you won the level. Okay, then you start with a bigger stack or something like that. And that's all we're going to do. Total recall. Choose a. Oh, I see. We got to do the comment. Okay. In this game, yeah, don't say choose a number. Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, in this game, we will present the user with a series of numbers from 0 to 100. From 0 to 100, which will get pushed onto a stack after disappearing from screen. Yeah. Okay. Disappearing. Okay. Then the user will be asked to guess the numbers in the reverse order. Right? And the guess is matched against the value popped from the stack. The guess is matched with the value from the top, from popped from the stack. If they match, they have to guess the next number and so on until the stack is empty.
It's matched.
Matched against. Yeah. The number popped from the stack. Yeah, if it matches, they get to guess the next number until and so on until the stack is empty. Yeah, same problem with someone else before. We're hitting Control S or Command S or something, so I'm trying to save this.
No, I'm just completely. I don't know. Some.
Oh, geez. I think Byron had this problem too.
Yeah.
Just open up a new tab and normally it fixes it. Like copy and paste the links if you want.
I think that's an ad popping up. But I've had this problem too.
Oh, I do have an ad blocker.
Oh, it's an ad blocker.
No, I mean, I don't believe I have one, but.
Go to your main now. What happened?
I don't
Oh,
know.
I see. You need to, every time you hit the orange button, you get a new share link. After you change it, you get a new, no, copy the whole code. Command A, copy. Okay, now paste the whole thing in the other one. Yeah, I was wondering why. Oh my gosh, what happened to main? Oh, we were doing the comments. We never did the main.
Yeah,
I see. Okay, yeah, okay. If it matches, they get to guess the next number in the stack, and so on until the stack is empty. The next number, and so on until the stack is empty. Yeah. If the empty, otherwise they get booted from the game. All right. Otherwise, if you didn't get anything right, if you got anything wrong, you get booted from the game. Yeah. Right. If they manage to empty the stack successfully, then they win the game. All right. If they manage to empty the stack successfully, then they win the game. For different levels, you can try, 3-digit numbers, 2-digit numbers, bigger stack size, smaller stack size. Level 1, maybe only 3 numbers in the stack before you ask them to guess, right? Level 2, 5 numbers go on the stack before you ask them to guess. All these variations you can inject and try and do these things. Okay, all right. So let's go to main now. Let's go to main. So what we want to do is levels. I'll do one level. Okay, I'll do one level with 3 items going on the stack, and then you can take this and modify it and do more levels, and like you've done before with the other games, embellish them and make them more interesting and beautiful, right? So we're just going to do one level here. So let's put some comments on top. Go to line 87, hit enter. Go yeah, right, yeah, right. So and then a comment there saying we just do one level with a stack size of 3. We just do one level of stacks, one level with stack size of 3. So you should develop this with more variations and share on the Reddit, okay? Okay, so what should we do in main and in there? I'm gonna say stack size is 3. Okay, all right. So let's go inside of main. You say int space int size t. So I'm sorry, size t. st space stack size equals 3. Okay, equals 3. Yeah. Okay. And then you know, yeah, I'm not going to put a comment there saying, you know, you change it with levels and all. You can do those things because our main is going to be very hacky, not like structured like your stack class and all. All right. Okay.
The const also just to.
Well, yeah, well, you can make it a const if you want, but I was thinking later on maybe you want to level 1 stack size.
Oh, you directly change it. Okay. Okay. Makes sense.
All right. So enter. All right. Now, I think what we want to do is for size t, I equals 0, I less than stack size. Oh, gee, same thing again. It is that ad blocker, right?
That's what I have no idea. I've never.
Yeah, maybe if you put that ad thing back on, if you, yeah. Can you get the ad thing on the right bar? Maybe that was causing it.
I think I closed it, so I don't see it anymore. Maybe I'll
Yeah,
open
okay, all right. Yeah, never mind. That's fine. Let's go ahead with our code. Size t, I equals 0, I less than stack size, I plus plus. And then I plus plus. Right, and then curly braces for the yeah. And in here, what we're going to do is generate a random number from 0 to 100. You're going to say int space n equals rand open close percent 100. Okay, so that'll be 0 to a 99. You get numbers from 0 to 99. Yeah, semicolon there. Actually, instead of 100, you can say max number. Okay, say yeah, max number all caps, and then we'll go to, yeah, there you go. And yeah, max number all caps. No, actually, no, it doesn't have to be all caps. Say lowercase. All right, lowercase. Yeah, because this is also a variable that you can change. Okay, and then the size t, yeah, there after, yeah, you can say size t max number equals 100. Okay, so you can change these things too. Okay, semicolon. All right, now because we're using rand, we also want srand in there. So let's put an srand on line 91. Okay, enter on line 91. Oh, you want to put it right there? Okay, cool. That's fine.
I don't know what the right. I mean, maybe...
you don't. Yeah, that's fine. Just native types after that. But you can put it there or on line 94, whichever you like. Yeah, enter. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you can do the srand there. I think that looks much better. Time null pointer. Oh, you want to do null instead of null pointer? Okay, that's fine. Yeah, semicolon at the end. Yeah, semicolon at the end. And then the output of time needs to be cast to unsigned because it's I think it's just long or something like that. Say unsigned in front of it. Yeah, I like that in parentheses. Okay, that is seeding the random number and space after that, space before time. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. So now int n. Okay. Great. So go to line 97. Yeah. Go to line 97. Hit enter. Okay. Now what we want is to animate that number until it disappears off the screen. So what we're going to do is so this number is going to be here, and then we'll move it, and then it goes out. So marquee, right? So say marquee, marquee, marquee. Hey, that is the name of the animation. Strange, isn't it? Okay. Marquee, QUEE. We underscore number. Okay, we just say horizontal scroll number. Okay, I think that makes more sense to students and for me too in many ways. Don't say marquee number, just say horizontal scroll number, H scroll number. Okay, H scroll number underscore number. Okay, and then open parentheses n.
Sorry, n. Okay.
N. Yeah, semicolon at the end. Right now, after it's scrolled out, you want to push it on the stack. So on the next line, you're going to say, oh, we do have a stack variable. Yeah. Next line, you want to say stack space you know, what shall we call it? I just say stack lowercase or, you know, my stack, whatever it is.
It's a pointer, right? Like
no pointer. It's just a stack. It is our stack.
You just okay. We're keeping
Yeah, my stack is fine. All right. Okay. So now after it's come out, you can say after the H scroll, you're going to say on the next line, you're going to say, yeah, my stack dot push n. Okay, and we can, you know, add messages and so on later on and make it more interesting. All right. Okay, now after the for loop, after the for loop, hit enter. Yeah, one more enter. And then now you say cout, left shift. Yeah, now you want to say, what was the, within quotes, you want to say, what was the last number you saw? So, all right, question mark after saw. Oh, you got two A's, yeah. Right, and a space, yeah, space after the question mark. All right, okay. Now, yeah, semicolon. No end L, semicolon. That's a prompt, you're going to ask them.
Okay.
Yeah, on the next line, you want to say, int, yeah, after stack, size t, stack size, we want int guess, okay? We want an int guess. We'll do the int guess here. Okay, int guess, semicolon right there. Oh, you want to do it there? Okay, that's fine.
I'm used to declarations in the same place, but
yeah, that's fine. Int guess.
Since it's
yeah, much nicer. Yeah, int guess, yeah, semicolon. Now you want to let's do get line and use iString stream. But rather than do it that way, I want to do it using cn. So in our input, we'll be careful, but put a comment there saying you want to change this. You want to use get line and iString stream in your own implementation. Yeah, change to get line iString stream in your own implementation. Get line in your own. Okay, all right. So on the next line, you're going to say cn right shift into guess. I don't know, right shift. Yeah. All right. Now you want to say on the next line, you want to say if stack.top, if stack.top, if my stack.top, if my stack.top, open close parentheses. No, open close parentheses.
Oh,
so
sorry.
Top is a function. Yeah, the top should be equal to n, isn't it? Right. So double equals n. And if not equal to n, yeah, if it is not equal to n,
guess,
so
right?
double equals, you say exclamation mark equals.
It should be guess, right? Not the n.
Yes, guess. I'm sorry. Yeah. All right. Now you can say sorry. Yeah. Cout. Sorry, that wasn't it. It was stack.top and endl. Yeah, are you missing an apostrophe after? Yeah, and wasn't it?
Okay.
Yeah. It was space and then stack.top, left shift stack.top, and then exit. Okay, open close. Yeah, semicolon, enter. Endl, and then exit. Yeah. Exit. On the next line, you want to say exit 0. Yeah. Now, if it's not that, then they got it right. Yes. So what we want to do is on the next line, you want to say they got it right in this case. So you want to say my stack.pop, my stack.pop.
Should we put this
sorry?
Should we put this in a loop?
Yes. Yeah, we have to put it in a loop and also have the mystack.isEmpty check on top so that it's all right there. No, but let's put this here first. Okay. Yeah. mystack.pop. Pop. Okay. All right. Now let's put it in a loop. What we want to do is So yeah, last number, and then after that, you won't say last number. What was the most recent number you saw? Then, the next question has to be, what was the number before that? Okay, so you got to figure out the better way to do this. Okay, what was the
Can we use nth, like n minus 1, n minus like?
Yeah, but you have to maintain an n then.
I mean, in a loop, anyways, we're doing a loop, right? So we can.
No, I was thinking we'll do the loop like go to line 102 and hit enter.
Oh, you're doing a while loop? Is that?
Yeah. So I was thinking while not my stack dot empty. While my stack dot is empty. So then there are, as long as there are numbers in there, empty. Yeah, open close parentheses, and then curly brace. Yeah, space curly brace, and indent everything else in. I think copying and pasting. Oh yeah, beautify was able to do it before. No, you can select all of that and hit beautify. It'll just do the thing. No, the blue one. Oh, it did the whole program?
No, I think it did just the part. It's fine.
Oh, I see. Okay. So while
Professor?
not is empty, what was the last number? Yeah, put a comment there saying this message needs changing, right? Think about it, right? Put a comment there. The following message needs changing.
Professor, I was wondering if we put the cout outside the while loop, and at the end we say just what was the number before that.
Oh, I see. I see. So like a do while loop, essentially. We'll have two couts, one cout outside for the first one, and then the rest of them in a loop. Yeah. We could do it that way. Do you want to do it like that now? What time is it now? We got 7 minutes. You want to do it like that? All right. So what Sumit is doing is, put that outside the loop. And then, put it there. What was the last number you saw? Okay, good. No, this would go at the end. This would, no, before.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Now, get rid of line 115. We don't need that mess anymore. Yeah, get rid of line 115. And get rid of that blank line. All right. Now, my stack.pop. Okay. Now you, and Sumit is saying, now you can say cout. Yeah, cout left shift. What was the number before that? Oh no, but what if stack is empty after that?
So this while would work in that case too, meaning having the while at top means, oh, yeah, you're right.
No. Maybe what we can do.
Why wouldn't
but put it there. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Right. Before that, and then go to line 124, hit enter. Yeah, hit enter. You can say if not stack empty. I think that should do it. If not, we need a vertical bar, the exclamation mark. And you can call these isempties, it'll all be optimized into very efficient calls by the compiler. Yeah, isempty. And you want to indent in the cout. Yeah? I think that should do it. Now let's do that animation. What is it? H scroll. H scroll. Okay, H scroll number. Let's go above main, right? Yeah, there you go to line 87, hit enter, right? And say void H scroll. What is that? Yeah, H scroll number. You can hit tab, it'll autocomplete. Yeah. And then int, what is it, int n or size tn? I don't know, I think it was whatever it is. Okay, all right.
I think it was rand, right? So it's probably an int.
Int, all right. Okay, and go to line 88 and hit enter.
Okay.
Yeah, and then start a comment there. This will print the number. This will print the number on the right side of the screen, and then move it to the left of the screen, one character at a time, until it disappears off the left, right? Yeah, until it disappears off the left edge. right? And then we'll use a sleep timer, something like that. You sleep, I don't know, 15 seconds, 15 milli, something like that. All right. Okay. All right. So now inside of H scroll, let's go to yeah. There, what you want to do is let's say that we're going to 80 columns. Okay, 80 columns. The number is going to start at 80 and say 1 second, 80 frames. No. Let's say 5 seconds. Okay. So I was thinking 5 seconds. And then and each second, let's say it moves 5 characters. Okay, 25. So each second it can move 10 characters. Let's say each second.
8 seconds. Let's make it 8 seconds.
8 seconds?
Yeah, then it'll be a simpler division, like 8 by 8.
Okay, all right, let's use 8 seconds. Okay, so it'll take 8 seconds for the number to start here and then scroll off. Okay, 8 seconds. That means on each second you can have 100 milliseconds.
100
yeah,
milliseconds
100
per-
milliseconds. Wait. And then 1 second. Yeah, okay, cool. I think that'll work. That'll look nice. Okay. So what we want to do is for size. Oh, I see. We're going to print. We want to get a string. You see here, let me describe what I have in mind. And then if we don't get to coding it, you can do it on your own because you know what to do. And then, or we can continue it next class too. That's fine. Right. What I'm trying to do is in a loop, I want a string of spaces and then the number. Okay. String of spaces and then a number. We're going to print it. And then we want to print a /r, not /n, not endl. Okay, /r. /r is return, carriage return, but don't go to the next line. Okay, so it's going to come back here. And then you're going to wait for 100 milliseconds. And then you're going to make another string, but that string of spaces is going to have one less space. So the number would have moved like here. Okay, and you're going to print that 100 milliseconds and so on. You're going to do that until the number gets to the end, and then you're going to erase the whole thing. So that's what we want to do. All right, so what we'll do is 80, you said 80, right? Yeah, okay. All right. So 80, and did we say 80 on the right side of the screen? Okay, all right. So let's say, and we're going to use hardcode 80, and you can fix this later. Okay, change this later. Right. So say for column, yeah, for call equals 80, call greater than 0, call minus. No, it's a size t call equals 80.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, size t call equals 80. Yeah, call, yeah, and call greater than 0. Call greater than or equal to 0. Call greater than or equal to 0. Yeah, and then yeah, call plus.
Minus.
Yeah, okay, yeah. All right, and curly brace at the end. All right, now what we want to do is string padding. Okay, string padding, string space padding, space padding equals string open parentheses, open parentheses. You're going to say call, comma, I think it's one. No, I think it's one character. Varsha, you used it in your code, yes? I think it's one character, not a string. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah, semicolon. Right? Now that's a padding. So now you want to do a C out on the next line. You want to do a C out, left shift padding. Yeah, and then left shift. You put a couple of spaces, strings, a string with the 3 or 4 spaces for good measure, so that it'll clear off its tail. All right. Yeah. And then left shift. You want to say /r. Okay, you can do a single character or a string. That's fine. Yeah. Okay, and then you want to flush. Okay, left shift flush. Okay, semicolon. Now you want to do a U sleep for, on the next line, you want to do a U sleep for 100 milliseconds. 100 times 1000, is it? I think is that how it is? Yeah, 100 times 1000. Is it 100 times 1000? No, it's 100 milliseconds. No, it's 100 milliseconds, isn't it? So Oh, it's micro. Milli to micro. All right. Yeah, 100 milliseconds is 100,000 microseconds. Okay. Right. So it's going to wait for that long. So it's going to print the number, padding, number, flush, wait, and then it's it goes back, reduces the padding, does the same thing, and it's going to do that. So the number will look like it's moving to the left.
We're not printing the number here, right? Like, is this I mean, the number is not printed yet, right?
Oh, we haven't got the number?
No.
Okay, yeah, you need to print the number. I'm sorry. Yeah,
So should I put it after the like extra padding, like the fudge?
No, before the padding.
Oh, okay. Makes sense. Yeah.
Where's the number? Yeah, n. Yeah, and then after outside the for loop, right? Outside the for loop, I just say cout left shift, and then 3 spaces or something like that, and then flush. Just to overwrite, that number will be there on the left margin, starting at column 0, but we want to overwrite it so that that's also erased by the time. Okay. All right. Okay. Now I think we should be able to run this game. We should be able to run it now, and we should see the animation. Usleep. Do we have any include files needed for the usleep or?
Yeah, I think we need for usleep. Yeah.
What is the include file?
unistd.h.
Oh, is it unistd.h? How come it worked before without C limits?
No, it didn't. I don't know. I got some stale version maybe.
Yeah. .h.
This is good enough, right?
No, unistd.h.
Oh, .h. Okay. So C.
Okay. All right. Now compile it. We'll see if it complains about the. Okay. Just a syntax error. All right. What is it? Let's go to line 141.
Oh, it didn't close the main, I think.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Right, try. Hey, it actually works. It works.
But it's going in the opposite direction.
Yeah, maybe you want to play it on. All right, I think we're at the end of class.
Yeah.
Oh, but you can fix it, okay? I think there's enough here for you guys to play around with. The number is moving too fast. Maybe you can play around with the timeout. Maybe it needs to stay there for 250 milliseconds instead of 100 milliseconds, and so on. So you can play with that, and then you'll see these things, okay? And then figure out what that error is, and try to fix it, and then you can embellish the program more. We got all the pieces there for you to have a great time. So until Tuesday, I hope to see many variations of Total Recall. Okay, Total Recall 1, Total Recall 2, and so on and so forth. Lots of it, and it'll be great fun to see all these things. Is that enough? We'll do this again, of course, obviously, right? Next Tuesday we'll pick up this program that Rahul will share, and then say, we'll also run it by, run it in class and play a few times. Okay, and make all the tweaks necessary. Things we've learned from all the variations that you guys have posted on the forum. Say, hey, you know what? In Varsha's version, there was this thing. Let's try and do that, right? In Andre's version, there was this other feature. Let's put it there, and so on. Hey, Mir, your bus is gone now. It's 8 o'clock. Is it 8 o'clock? It's got five minutes for your. Hey, Mir, are you here? Isn't it time for your bus?
I'm at home today, Professor.
Oh, you're at home. All right. Okay, good. Okay, cool. All right. So was this good? Well, can you guys develop this into again, it is a terminal game, right? You can do it on a Linux machine. You can do it anywhere. You can do these cool things. So there's lots of opportunities for you to play around and create these new fun things, okay? So I'm looking forward to seeing versions of Total Recall before Tuesday, over the weekend, okay? Please do try and share them. It is going to be great fun. We'll pick this up again on Tuesday, okay? And then we'll try and, complete it. Make sure everybody is solid on this before we move on to implementing linked lists and all. Okay, so we got time. We're actually doing very good on time. In fact, I remember days back in the day, right, when I used to struggle to get to pointers towards the end of the class, and there's only 2 more lectures left, and no, we haven't even touched pointers. But then, with experience, I know by now what things are easy for students. Because in the past, I used to spend a lot of time talking about things that are actually easy for you, which is total waste. Many things you can just pick up. So now, with experience, I know how to get to pointers sooner, because we can do some cool and interesting stuff towards the end of class without having to rush. So we got a lot of time. So I'm very happy about that. Did you all get anything useful out of this class? Yeah. Sumit, Byron, Sophia, was this useful? Was this good?
Yes, it was a little bit complicated,
or
the code, yes.
Yeah.
It's a difficult code to understand, I think. At least for me, it's a little bit confusing that, for example, we defined a node class, and then we use the type node as a member, you remember, we
Yes,
define like a node
yes.
inside the class node.
Yeah, in the stack we used it is,
Yes.
it is, yes. I
It
totally
is
and even though Sophia just brought it up, I'm pretty sure that lots of you are in the same boat. Okay, therefore we will not rush it. We will go over this code again on Tuesday. Okay, all of it from the beginning. I have no problems explaining the whole thing again, right? Say that is a node class, and here there's another class which has a node inside of it. And what is a node? We just defined a node up there. Okay, so that takes a little while of getting used to, but I'm pretty sure and confident that you guys can, get used to this very quickly, long before the final exam. So it's just practice, You got to set apart time. And do it. Like at least 20 to 30 minutes every single day. Otherwise, you lose the touch of it, right? So yes, thank you, Sophia, for asking that question. Okay, so we'll come back to this again on Tuesday. Anybody else have any questions or concerns before we sign? Yeah, sure.
The code that Rahul sent in the chat, is that the latest?
No, I think I didn't save it. So just try again. I think I just saved it in my directory. If it doesn't work, then I'll create another one and send it on the Reddit forum.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm kind of new to this stuff, so.
Thank you, Rahul. Okay, thank you, Rahul, and also Andrew. Where's Andrew? Andrew's here. I don't see Andrew's gone. Anyway, thanks to him too for coding. Everybody else okay? No questions? All right. Okay. I hope to see you all. Yeah, Sophia. Yes, go ahead.
I put one that I was coding along. I'm not sure if I missed anything, but just in case that Rahul missed it. Sorry.
Thank you, Sophia. In fact, I mentioned that. I mentioned that in the previous, before you joined, I mentioned that. Saying, hey, you know what? In 2 classes ago, we lost the URL, and Sophia had, this had been typing. So yeah, that's really cool. Thank you. You should also post it on the Reddit, just in case. Rahul.
Yeah, I will. I'll post it on Reddit.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Thank you all. Thank you for the pleasure of seeing you all, and your smiling faces. It really does make my day. All right. So I'm very happy. So just feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions, anything that you'd like me to cover in more detail. All of that, everything is okay with me. So I'm happy to help you guys. Okay. I just want you all to succeed. Right. And I was telling Enzo also last time, right? My whole point is that the bar should be the same for everyone, right? If someone has challenges or belongs to a disadvantaged part of the population, the bar can't be lowered in my class anyway. It's just that you'll be given the support to meet the higher bar. Everybody should, people think of community college courses as, there's private colleges giving you high standard education, but really I'm not sure I can, I'm as good as that. So let me go to a community college where the standard is lower. No, you shouldn't be thinking of it like that. It is rather, you should be thinking, I'm going to get the same high quality education, except for a lower price. That's open to everybody, not just, high paying individuals. So that is the spirit of community colleges anyway. But because, it's a community college, you got to pick and choose professors, because you'll find professors across, the whole spectrum of them. So you got to do a little bit of research and say, all right, this class is actually a high quality class, the same as what's being offered out there at the top colleges, right? But it's only $200, not like 20,000, you know, or in 2,000 bucks. So you'll find many classes like that, and you should you take advantage of these things rather than go for just, you know, $200 credits. Yeah, I got an A+ for $200. That is totally useless. So thank you all. Okay, I will see you on Tuesday.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
I have balloons. Hey, what happened? Yeah, it still happened. It's good. Okay, Tristan, you got a question too?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, sure, I can hear you.
I think I was just kind of wondering about the Sentinels, the one we used for the stack class.
Well, I think in the stack, did we use a Sentinel at all in the stack?
Yeah, that's what we used the int max for.
Oh, yeah. Yes, that's right. Int max Sentinel. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I was just kind of wondering about that because I don't know, maybe I just need to understand the Sentinels a little bit better.
No. It's very simple. It's very simple. What is it? So it has pop. Was it pop? Top. Top has to return
yeah.
value. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Suppose stack was empty. What would you return?
The
Hey, what
int max.
the lights behind you? One of them is red and the other one is white. Is it?
Oh yeah, I can like change the color of the
Oh, is it
bulbs.
controlled? Yeah, LEDs. I see.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Go ahead with your question.
Yeah, I was just wondering because I think, well, I was doing research and like, I guess one example that I saw was like a null terminator in like a C style string.
Yes, but we're not returning a string.
I
We're
was just kind of
returning.
right. I was
You
just
can't
kind
return a
of
string.
yeah. I was just kind of confused why we only really have that sentinel if it's like the stack is, I guess, empty.
No. That's not you got to think about it. You're thinking about it the opposite direction. Think about what you would return if the stack was empty. Forget about sentinels.
Okay.
What would you do if the stack was empty? And I said, give me the top of the stack.
I mean, I guess that's why we return the int max since it's kind of like outside of
Yes.
the 0 to 100 range
Yes.
that we define.
Not 0 to 100. We're just saying, you know, you can return any integer except int max. If you give me int max, then it's not a valid integer. So that's a contract between the caller and that function. So that's what the sentinel is. Because if you didn't have that, you don't have any way of solving that problem. You have to throw an exception, right? We haven't covered exceptions, and exceptions are, you know, heavy duty, and it's not ugly for this simple use case.
Yeah.
Does it make sense?
Yeah, I think so. So it's like we're kind of using it for that specific edge case, I guess.
It's not an edge case. It is to cover the domain of the function.
Okay.
Right? Because otherwise, you not domain. It is to make the function return a valid value in every single case, even if the stack is empty. Otherwise, you don't know what to return if the stack is empty.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, okay, I think that makes sense now.
See, are you a Java programmer?
I've some experience in like Python and C.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe not. In Java, for example, you just return a null. Yeah, but you can't return a null here because a null is not an integer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why you got to have a sentinel.
Okay.
It takes a little while, you know, getting used to it. That's okay. But keep thinking about it and it'll be fine.
Okay.
So bring it up next class too, if you're still confused.
Okay, yeah, I will.
Awesome.
Do we use
sorry. Tristan, you good? You good now?
Yeah, I was just saying that was my only question.
No worries. Okay. You can hang around if you want. Enzo, what's your question?
Do we use that sentinel value in any way, or is it just like if we
No, it's
have
just
to return something, we're
that's it.
returning that?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, it's on the very edge.
Just a sentinel. It's a signal. It's a special value saying something failed or something like that.
Yeah, well, like sometimes for a signal, for example, it might be signaling something and they do something with that information. But in this case, it's just like a.
However, you can have multiple sentinels and they could have meanings, right? You can have a sentinel range of 99, 95 to 100.
Mm-hmm.
And
so
then
in this
you
case,
can
just
do
like
math. Yeah, you can compare those.
in this case, just makes sure that you have something to return, so it doesn't like crash it or something.
Yeah, otherwise it won't compile even.
Yeah,
it doesn't know what to do, right?
Okay. So that was one question related to the code. Let me see if I had any others. One thing I was saying after besides the code was today was the first day I had like a game that pushed it back a little bit. So that like today I showed up, I don't know, like 15 minutes late into class or something like that. And I just was doing like a second check-in to make sure like that was completely fine. Me just coming in and listening 15 minutes late.
No worries, no worries.
Okay. Yeah, because I got home at like 6 p.m. and I took a really fast shower because it's gonna be kind of hard to think if I'm like all sweaty and sitting in like this chair. So yeah, I showed up a little late.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. I'm glad you were able to join the class eventually.
Yeah, totally. I got to ask a bunch of questions, so I enjoyed it.
Sure. Yeah, you still have questions or
I'm looking through the code really fast to make sure I don't.
You can also post your questions in the forum, because you ask the questions here, and then or maybe only you and I have this chat. But if you ask the same question in the forum, I think a lot of people, because I look at the statistics and many of your posts have lots of views. So many students are looking at them and the comments. So you should post them in the forum, and then I'd be able to answer, or someone will be able to answer for sure. And then, I could also answer the same question in the next class when everybody will be there too. But
yeah, I think I actually get it all, except for maybe like why we need the /r or like what exactly the star temp does. But I can figure that out on the Reddit. I think it's not like a you needed question.
Yeah, and /r is really cool. You should definitely talk about it in the Reddit, because it just it means carriage return but no line feed. It's get back to the column 0 but don't go to the next line.
Okay,
and we're leveraging that to create the animation.
Yeah, but I guess one thing is, why do we need that if we just use padding to find the correct column every single time?
Then it'll go to the
why
next
do we
line.
need to go?
We do a cout with an endl. The next number will be on the next line.
But can you just use flush and no /r? Like instead of endl.
Oh yeah. But yeah. You flush and no /r. Your next cout will start from that column, not from the beginning of the line.
So in our code, do we use /r and no endl or /r and endl?
No endl. /r no endl, and then a flush to return the cursor to the beginning of the line.
Okay. I'll experiment with that and I'll ask it in the Reddit.
Yeah, experiment with that.
Tell me better, explain it.
You already know a few other ways to create animations, right? ANSI code and all, but this is, even if you don't know codes, you can still do some basic animations with this.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
No worries. Okay.
Tuesday.
All right. Have a great weekend, both of you guys, and I'll see you on Tuesday. Okay.
All right. See you then.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks, Professor.